Hello and welcome back to the Jet Set, where this week we're exploring Whidbey and Camano Islands.
Now, with so many large corporate agribusinesses today, the small family farm can feel like a thing of the past. Not so on Whidbey and Camano Islands. They still embrace and celebrate the traditional small-scale farms. Both islands can boast fourth-generation farmers still working land claims that have been in their family since the 1800s. This kind of agricultural heritage has attracted a new wave of chefs to the islands as well, taking advantage of the amazing local crops. Whether it's handcrafted wood sculptures or small batch wines, the communities of Whidbey Island have a strong artisanal culture, and when it comes to food, this is no exception. While exploring Langley, I stopped in to meet with Ron and Steven to discover how they decided to return home to open Savory, a restaurant that is relaxing, intimate, and inviting with flavorful food inspired by family, friends, and travel. Ron, Stefan, thank you so much for having me here at Savory Restaurant here in Langley on Whidbey Island. Okay, this place is amazing. It really feels like I walked into your beautiful living room and you're having me over for dinner. Tell me a little bit about how this place started, how it came to be.
Well, we were living in Chicago. We're initially from this area. My career took us out there some 25 years ago. And I was laid off during the height of COVID last year. And we started talking. We'd been talking about coming home and what we wanted to do. We wanted to do something in hospitality, a bed and breakfast or a restaurant, something where we could interact more personally with people. And this opportunity came up. We knew Langley, we knew Whidbey, and we love it. And we thought, what a fantastic opportunity. And so we came out here and looked at it, and I thought, we can do something with this.
Yeah, this can work.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Stefan, tell me a little bit about your favorite things on the menu.
Well, it's sort of hard to say, which is your favorite child,
Yeah.
because all of the items on the menu are inspired by either family or friends or our travels, which we've been very fortunate to have traveled a lot. I've been in the restaurant industry for a very long time now, and some of them are inspired by people I've worked with and chefs that I've worked with. So we have a wonderful squid ink linguine that is kind of a signature dish. We also have our miso braised pork with arbo chilies and fresh ginger. And a special one for me is our tagliatelle, which is a recipe based on my family recipe from my mother, my grandmother, my great-grandmother, going back generations. So while I put my own spin on it, its foundation is in family.
And when it comes to the food, all I can say is yum.
And no trip to Whidbey Island is complete without getting onto the water. We headed out to the wharf in Coupeville to set sail on the Suva. Built in 1925, this Gatsby-era schooner is now the proud flagship of the Coupeville Maritime Heritage Foundation. We spoke with Chris Bradley about how the foundation keeps this schooner sailing.
Well, the crew are all volunteers, and all the maintenance work is volunteer also primarily. Sometimes there's a heavy job which we're not qualified to do and we'll take it to a shipyard, but most of the maintenance and upkeep is all volunteers. The crewing are all volunteers, and we just come out to sail and share the maritime experience with as many people who are interested. We're hoping that she can make her keep by doing that, and that way we can keep her going another 100 years.
Also on board was Lynn Hyde, director of Historic Whidbey, who shared with us some of the history of Penn Cove. So Lynn, what's the chances we would see any orcas out here?
Well, I guess there were a couple orcas out here a few days ago, so you missed your shot.
Okay.
But we don't
Right.
see a lot. Back in 1970, one of the marine SeaWorld kind of places came doing a roundup of orcas here in Penn Cove and created quite a trauma for both the usual orca visitors and for the people who lived here. Orcas live a really long time and they never forgot Penn Cove, so from that time on it was a good 40 years before an orca was sighted in Penn Cove again.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's incredible that they remember
Yeah.
That is just amazing. I mean, we know how smart they are, but that is really amazing how they're like, oh, we are not going there.
We're not going back. Yeah. So when they first started seeing them, probably about 8 years ago, and it's rare, you know, you might get 1 or 2 sightings in the summertime. You know, all the people who remembered the original roundup were like, oh, they felt a little bit like they could breathe a little easier that orcas were returning to their home.
I loved every part of the Suva, but I loved our crew.
It was
all
so
of
much
our
fun.
guys
They were all
on
so
the
nice.
boat. They were amazing, so interesting, so informative, and they love what they do. And then also kind of sharing the history with everyone on the boat. Just,
It's a trip you absolutely need to
it
take.
was wonderful.
We've got to take one final break, but we've got lots more from our trip still to come.